So this is a new implant, and you can see this is not much bigger than my fingernail.
Okay.
This is actually a blood oxygen sensor that you can actually implant into your body. So if you wanted almost like an internal Fitbit, this one right here, this is actually not much bigger than a micro SIM for a cell phone. This will actually allow me to interface with almost 300 different types of physical badging systems. So if I skim your card, I can write that data down to an implant. And to circle back to one of your earlier questions of why would I want to make these things internal? This is one of the key pieces of information I discovered during the research for my first book. And actually, it was prior to the first book. But once you put devices inside your body, whether they come from the medical side of technology or not, they are still given the exact same protections under the HIPAA laws here in the United States and the GDPR laws within the European Union. So I'm really not the best at Latin, but I believe the way it's pronounced is actually mens rea, which when loosely translated means malicious intent. So when we look at the way criminality works, if I'm a criminal and I say skim your badge to get into the amazing, Robin studio where you work, because I know that you're an extremely safe guy, so I'm sure you've got multi-factor on your doors and your locks and everything else. These in the past, if I was going to break through a physical access, I would need either a tool like a Proxmark, a Flipper Zero, some type of device that could replay the data that was on that card, or I would need a copy or a duplicate of that card. Those scenarios where I have access to a duplicated card or a tool, that is enough for the authorities to be able to prove malicious intent. With my implants, you can actually catch me in a restricted location. Case in point, I did one pen test where I actually was able to skim an individual's badge that had access to their data center. I was able to compromise the data center, and I was caught in their server room. And they pulled me out. They stuck me in an office. They called the authorities. The authorities searched me. What were you doing? Well, all I have to do is play dumb. We've all seen those commercials on TV with the big towers with all the servers in them. I just thought it was kind of cool. The door opened. You can have me on tape. You can have me on your internal closed circuit TV. All it's going to look like is I opened the door. If they don't find a card, they don't find, any kind of a tool, the worst they're going to be able to do is trespass me off your property. The problem with that is I have, as I said, a total of 11 different microchips, each with different capabilities. I don't need the one to get in the door to necessarily attack the servers that are on the other side of it. And I become a living nightmare for any type of a purple team or any type of blue team defender. I become the X value, especially if they don't know that people like me even exist. And that's kind of one of my main purposes with getting out here and talking about this. It's very, very difficult and damn near impossible to prevent the attack that you don't even know exists.